Give Coach Hikins the credit because all week long kept telling him he's going to have to score 40 to 50 points. He didn't believe me. Well, he scored 41, so we give him the credit. Go ahead. Who wants to ask questions? I'm not going off tonight.
Coach, it seemed like on the sidelines, it's kind of cutting away. You're staying calm, but you just kind of had a look in the face. Especially in the first half, just so close to second place, but something wasn't clicking. What were you seeing and kind of adjusting with the defense after they're coming over these series?
We were trying to make the adjustments on the stuff we were missing. We were not getting across blocks a lot. I thought, in my opinion, we got out physical really bad in the first half. We had a couple opportunities to make some plays in coverage we didn't make, and I mean we get him on the very first series. He scrambles out around, and we let him get away. We got him down to third long, and I mean in the first half they were 3 of 7 on third downs. I think they were 6 of 11 in the second half to get 9 of 18. We got to be a lot better than that. I thought for 3 quarters it was atrocious defense, and then the fourth quarter, I told you, I mean after the Stanford and then we had the USC, those coming to Jesus meetings. We get down 21-40, and I mean we had to call them up again and tell them, look guys, I mean this is a critical time in what we're trying to build. You can either lay down and they're going to embarrass you, or you can fight back. And if you make a couple plays and get some turnovers like we have the last couple of weeks, you can give the offense a chance to score and we'll have a chance to win. And to their credit, what we're building around here, they keep fighting. They keep fighting and fighting and fighting, and they find a way to have a chance to win, and tonight we finished it.
What is it about this team in the fourth quarter? Because you outscored your opponents substantially.
I think, like I said earlier in the week, everything we do in this program is about competing. They compete until the very end. And we kind of have a slogan on defense, and it's kind of the whole team. The team that plays the hardest, the longest wins. And that was what took place tonight.
Red zone defense, pretty successful overall, forcing a lot of field goals, obviously resulted in those extra points that ASU needed at the end there. So how can you speak to the red zone defense?
I think the guys made plays. I mean, a couple of the long rollouts by Tate, they're down the one on Kobe. Kobe's in great position. And a 6 guy, 5 guy over a 5'9" guy is going to win that battle 9 out of 10 times. Kobe had the ball in his hands, and he just reached over him, and he came over to me, and I asked him, I said, Kobe, you need some help? I mean, I get it. He goes, Coach, no. And give Ashari Croswell some credit now, because that young man got beat up early on in the season with all the PIs and all the stuff that he wasn't doing. He made a play on that 2-point play over there where they threw a fade to 19, and he came flying out of nowhere to knock it away. That's red zone defense. I mean, big time players make big time plays in big time games. He's becoming pretty special.
So Rob, when you look at the offense, I mean, a very, very slow start in the first half. What do you attribute that, and what happened in the second half?
You know, it was just really disappointing because at this point in time of the year, you should, as a coach, you kind of should know what you're going to get. And you know, the last 3 games before the Oregon game, you know, I thought that we had got that fixed. That's who we were. We start drives out, we run the football, we play action, we bootleg, we string long drives together, we eat up the clock, and you know, and then the Oregon game, you know, we kind of started doing what we did for 3 quarters tonight, and that's going backwards on first down and second down. So that was very disappointing, and we just kept telling the kids, guys, if you will just stop going backwards, we'll win this football game, especially on first down. I mean, it's so hard to overcome. You know, and you're calling plays at 2nd and 14, it's 3rd and, you know, 11, or it's 1st and, you know, 15 or 20 and all that stuff. So you just can't be a very good football team when you do stuff like that. So, you know, we got into the fourth quarter and calmed down a little bit. Give them credit. I agree with Coach. They out-physicaled us in the first half, especially up front. And, you know, but our kids never quit. And so they just kept going, man. And you could visually see them wear down up front. And then they got one of their guys kind of hurt and bringing some guys in. So we knew we were starting to wear them down. Still had some problems in the third quarter. But, man, if we can just snap the ball and attempt to get 4 yards on first down, we're going to be just fine, man. And it was like, well, you got to stop going backwards, all right? You know, so we kind of fixed that in the fourth quarter, and you see what can happen when we do that.
Coach, what in the world was that 2-point conversion? What the hell was that?
Okay, man. Oh, my God. Like, you have no idea the 2-point. Yeah, all right. So,
Yeah, what was that?
Okay, so
We don't even get to practice.
if you
against your
watch on
practice.
film, the guy who caught it, Tommy, was supposed to catch it way earlier than that. Okay, so we went in motion, and we had the numbers for the quick screen over to the left. And Manny, I don't know, I got to talk to him. I don't know why he didn't see it that way. And so he read it out, and there's 1, 2, 3, 4 other possibilities. And he went through all 4 of them, came over here, ran over here, and then went back to the original one and scored. So, I mean, that's how we did it.
Andy, you mentioned Kobe getting out lead for that touchdown pass, and then on the last drive he made a great play to break up the touchdown. Just what does that say about him, his resilience, and also he doesn't really seem to seek a lot of attention. He just kind of right. He just
Kobe has been our most consistent defensive back all year. The young man is the one that studies the most in the film room. He knows what route he's going to get almost on every play, and the only times he doesn't make plays is when it's physical ability. And that was it. The guy was, I mean, a 6'5" guy, 5'9", and he keeps fighting. He never gets down the sideline. He's a good leader. He's quiet. He doesn't hardly say much. And the fact that that stuff doesn't crush him, give him credit, because that's a hard position to play at 5'9".
I got a question, Rob.
Yes.
How much did the offensive line issues have to do with what was going on in the first half? Because Tucker didn't play, and then Miller got hurt, came out, and
Roy was hurt.
Yeah.
Yeah, and so we were, you know, anytime that you shuffle the guys around up front, because they have a language that they speak. They're and not just a verbal language, but a physical language. They're double teams. They know when you work with a guy, you know how to come off with this guy on a double team, and then all of a sudden another guy's new. Yeah, it does contribute to that a little bit, but yeah, before I answer that question a little more in depth, I need to watch the film so I don't say anything that isn't true.
What was Hemsley's injury? What's his injury?
I think he had an ankle he was struggling with, so he didn't play. Casey didn't play, and then Steve was shaken up and all that stuff. So we shuffled around the deck a little bit tonight.
Did you say anything to Manny after he went airborne? Took that kind of big hit reminder.
Then I told, Don't, yeah, exactly. No, stop doing that. I've been telling him that this whole year, but I don't know. He gets caught up in the heat of the battle, and
doesn't help. I keep telling Manny how awesome it is. So.
Yeah. Love those pictures you put on Twitter,
right.
Manny.
Exactly.
Thanks, Coach.
Shari had the interception, then he had another bat down. Earlier in the year, he had opportunities that he just didn't convert, and it seems like in recent games he's making those plays for a freshman. Is that like symbolic of just kind of what has happened for your freshmen?
I think it is. I think all those freshmen, there were 7 of them at some point out there today when we had Kyle and Tyler in there too, 2 of them being redshirt. The experience is invaluable. You can't trade that for anything. And Cam Phillips came up with a groin in pregame and wasn't able to go. So they keep building. It helps us for the future. Now, hopefully, when we build this thing, you'll never see 7 true freshmen out there again. But, hey, we're going to play the best players, so it doesn't matter who they are.
Coach, kind of piggybacking off of that, Tyler with the fumble recovery there at the end kind of got the whole thing started. How have you seen him develop as a player from the start of the year in fall camp to now? From being a defensive end to being one of our better linebackers has been awesome. I mean, he's 6'4", he's 270 pounds. He runs like a deer. I mean, you can't teach any of that. And he's just like the rest of them. He just the mentality, never playing. He's growing up, and now he still makes a lot of mistakes. He came up to me after the game, said he was sorry. After I watched the film, I'm going to be mad at him. Well, great, we won, so I won't watch the film until later. I won't be mad until then, but it's important. He wants to be better. He wants to get better every time, and that's the attitude you want in a football program when you're trying to build. That's where we want to go.
Manny was talking about that last touchdown, the one that Eno ran in.
Yes.
You said it was supposed to be a pass at first. Is that kind of what it was?
Yeah, it was a pass check run, and Manny did a good job. That was part of the scheme. They were getting in a too high shell, and we had so we had a bang post going to go to Nikhil, or we had I think with Brandon Ayuk might have been in at the time. I'm not sure. He was the slot receiver. He had a numbers fade. And so we had 2 good choices against 1 high safety, but they went too high, and Manny did what he's supposed to do. He checked to a run, and we popped it.
Rob, you mentioned before that sometimes the players like Frank or Nikhil will talk to you in-game and have suggestions.
Yes.
Was there any player suggestions today that you have eventually implemented?
Yeah, I talked to Nikhil early, and I said, look, I see what they're doing. It's going to frustrate you. They're doing they're going to double you in the 2x2 spread out look when you're the inside receiver, and they did. And then they're going to press, sometimes bail you when you're the single. They dinked us a couple times when we had some fades called. Thought we were going to throw it deep, and then they bailed out to cover 3. Caught Manny one time early in the first quarter. I think you guys might have seen that on the left hash. And so I got on the phones with Nikhil early because I didn't want him to get frustrated, because I know, man, when you're a big-time player, all you want to do, it's not selfishness. It's like you just want to help your team win. And he wants to do anything he can, and he gets so, he's passionate about helping, the Sun Devils win. And he can't touch the ball. And so, man, we were up in the booth. We were frantically trying to come up with stuff to just kind of get him the ball. And then as you see, when we started getting him some stuff, we kind of moved some stuff around it where we could get him the ball. And that kind of got our drive started, getting him the ball. So we did have a really good discussion about what was open, what he thought. We kind of changed, when they bailed out, he changed the streak to a hitch and kind of got, so we started doing that off of their press bail and caught him a couple times, which was good.
One more, Jeff.
Yep.
Danny, I can't remember if it was when they were up by 19 or up by 16, but they started to run the ball and try to run clock out there. How much did that help trying to get a grip back on the game and flip it around?
I think it helped a little bit, but I think the guys up front on the defensive side of the ball, they knew they were going to have to run the ball. I mean, when you know they're going to run the ball, they know what it is. It's man against man. It's whoever's going to be tougher at that point. And our guys, we were kind of selling out to stop the run. I mean, they could have probably hit some deep shots, but we put those guys on islands now. There's no free safety, so those guys outside have to make plays so we get more numbers in the box. We tried to do that a little bit earlier, but then when we didn't get to them, you don't get a lot of pressure. So 14's able to run around, and he's pretty special. He can make those plays. So we didn't think they were going to do that at that point. They were going to try and be conservative, burn the clock, get first downs. They were getting first downs on some of those plays earlier. They weren't able to. So that was. I mean, we put more guys up there.
Thanks, everyone.
Thanks.